Hope Hicks really giving Donald Trump, if you ask me, a little bit of hope that maybe some of this, will really get called out. So she testified today. This is the former assistant of Donald Trump, really striking, beautiful woman. She actually broke down on the stand, started crying, and got clearly very, very emotional. She said that she needed to take a break. She was there. She defended the president's relationship with his wife, Melania, talked about how important it was for him because he was really, didn't want his family to hear all this nasty stuff that was coming out, because when you run for president, you know what? They're going to go after you with everything they got. Heck, he even went after Ted Cruz with the whole your dad killed Kennedy thing. So just saying, anything can be out there. And what she admitted was, when this Access Hollywood tape thing came out, well, it was pretty upsetting. It was upsetting to the inner circle around Trump. He knew it would be upsetting for Melania to hear any of this. And so there was a personal component of that involved too. I want to go to a clip from MSNBC because they were reporting on this today, and they reported on that sort of emotional breakdown that she had when she was there on the witness stand. I can tell you, she's a lovely woman. I know her. She is tremendously loyal to Donald Trump. So I'm sure she kind of got put in this situation. All of a sudden, now she's going to be on the stand. For what? A case that really doesn't add up and doesn't make any sense, because I'm sorry, look, NDAs, whether you like them or not, are actually legal. I don't think it's seemly. I don't like the catch and kill thing. Hey, but you know what? It's totally legal. And by the way, the other side, don't kid yourself. They're doing it all the time. And they're spreading rumors themselves. And they put them in the New York Times. Thank you very much. But it's okay for one side to do it, not the other. Here's MSNBC talking about Hope Hicks just moments ago.
Colangelo saying, can you describe the conversation? And Hope Hicks saying this: it was the day after Michael told the New York Times saying he made a payment without Trump's knowledge, and that Trump said he spoke to Michael, and Michael had paid this woman to protect him from a false allegation, and Michael had done it to protect him and had not told him anything about it. I had known Cohen for 3.5 years. I did not know Michael to be an especially charitable person. He is the kind of person who takes credit. Trump thought it was generous of him to do, and he appreciated the loyalty. And then Hicks goes on to say, Michael felt like it was his job to protect him. Again, that would be out of character for Michael, Hope Hicks says. I don't know Michael to be an especially charitable person. He wanted to know how it was playing out in the media. This is kind of part of what has been going on throughout the day, Alex, which has been an incredibly interesting testimony, I have to say, from Hope Hicks, with about just 45 minutes left in court, because they are going to go into recess at 3:45. Hope Hicks has really been connecting the dots, right? Every single person we have heard on the stand so far throughout this trial, whether it's Rona Graff, whether it's David Pecker, Hope Hicks has been somewhat of connecting those dots. She was even asked the questions of, who is Alan Weisselberg? What did Alan Weisselberg do in the Trump organization? What did Rona Graff do? Where did Rona Graff, in fact, sit? How close was she to the former president? Thinking back, of course, to Rona Graff's testimony about the fact that she knew Stormy Daniels had visited Trump Tower. She had inserted Karen McDougal's address along with phone number into the former president's phone log.
So interesting color there, if you would. Clearly Hope Hicks is a great assistant, right? She knew everything that was going on in ways apparently that Rona, who had been his assistant for many years, may not have even known. So Hope had a lot of insight into things and was kind of running the show. She apparently was concerned that when, the first tape came out, the Access Hollywood one came out, she went to Michael Cohen, who you heard, that is not a good sign for his character witness. They're pinning their whole case on this guy. And here's this beautiful young woman who, by the way, is extremely sympathetic. She's soft-spoken, breaks down, crying. She said in the beginning how nervous she was. I'm sure she was. Again, these are not necessarily things that you anticipate. She got thrown into all of this. I do think she likes the president tremendously and believed in him and is very loyal to him, and is making the point that, Michael Cohen wasn't really that loyal. So I don't know exactly where they're going to take this. Again, I'm really troubled with sort of the whole okay, you can't do this, that somehow this is illegal because Michael Cohen was making some kind of contribution to the campaign. I mean, if he was the fixer guy and you got a public personality, I'm just saying, right? Like, let's talk Hollywood for a second. I mean, things apparently happen in Hollywood all the time, but I'm still waiting on the rapper guy, right? Like, whatever happened with all of that? Thank you very much. So things happen all the time, and there's this whole catch and kill thing that goes on. David Pecker explained all of that. So Michael was maybe that kind of guy that was like the fixer that was doing all of this, and you're going to have a hard time. Like, you've got to somehow prove how this was fraudulent. They're saying there's 34 counts against him, falsifying internal Trump Organization business records stemming from paperwork such as invoices and checks that were deemed legal expenses in Trump Organization records. Prosecutors say they were really just reimbursements to Cohen for $130,000. Well, again, let me go back to who is Michael Cohen? You heard from Hope Hicks there that the jury did anyway. He's kind of a lousy dude and has always been kind of a lousy dude. Meanwhile, he like flips his story just depending on what's going on, right? And now even CNN is calling into question the character of Michael Cohen. I mean, if you don't have a decent witness in this whole thing, where are you going with it? Heck, even Michael Avenatti is calling up from prison into MSNBC, stunning them, saying, you know what? There's not much of a case here. It could have maybe happened a couple of years ago, but they waited too long. They really don't have a case. So where's this heading?